Assalamu alaikum, dear students and respected viewers. As you know, we are reading history and chapter 7, Rise of the Mauryan Empire, in which we detailedly talked about the development of the Mauryan Empire, then its sources from which we got the information and knowledge. We also talked about the King Bindusara, King Ashoka, and the different measures which were taken by the Ashoka for spreading Dhamma. And we, in our last lecture, we talked about the Mauryan administration, in which we fully talked about the central government, provincial government, revenue system, and military administration. As I told you in my previous lecture that we may have one lecture on this chapter, and in which we have to talk about their city, that is the capital, and the name of the city was Patalaputra. We have to also talk about the economic life, society of the Mauryas, art and architecture during the Mauryan age, and how the Mauryan Empire came to an end, that is as the decline of the Mauryan Empire. What are the different reasons that led to the decline of the Mauryan Empire? As I told you, when we are talking about the sources of information, then we are talking the Indica, Book of Indica, that is written by the mega cities, and the Kautilya's Arthashastra, which provide us knowledge about the Mauryan Empire. Both these books have given us information that the capital city of Mauryan Empire was city of Patalaputra. Now, when we are talking about this city, as you know, our Kashmir or India, that have the capital of Delhi, that have a capital that's called known as Delhi, as well as Kashmir have a capital that is Srinagar, summer and winter in Jammu. And as far as capital is concerned, it is always beautiful, impressive, and it is always protected. Same is the case with these people, with the Mauryan Empire. Patalaputra was the city, capital city of Mauryan Empire. It was very large, beautiful, and impressive city. It was surrounded, here I have written only, it was by high walls to protect it from the attacks. That means it was surrounded by the deep moat and high walls to protect it from the attacks of the enemies. That means if you have to capture the land or conquer any part or any territory, then you have to take also the control of the capital city. So for the capital city, you must have a high level of security, high defense system. Same is the case with them. They have protected it with the high walls to keep away it from the enemies. And there have been also towers and gateways, as it is written also here on our book. The city had, now as you know, if we will talk about our own modern capital, that is Srinagar, we also have there the different bodies which we do not see in villages or in our hometowns, like as we have Srinagar Municipal Corporation. Not only this, we have Srinagar Development Authority, even tourism department is there. Same is the case there in Mauryan Empire. We had different departments in this capital. For that very purposes, they have made some committees, and in them they have kept only on duty group of 30 officials who were divided into 6 committees. One committee looked after a specific department. That means in every committee there have 5 members, 5 officials, and 5 officials were assigned a job to look after every department, to look after their particular specific department. For example, as I told you, we have Srinagar Municipal Corporation, that is also a department. Here the different departments, as I have also given you an example, that is births and deaths, supervision of trade and commerce, industries and welfare of foreigners, inspection of manufactured goods, municipal taxes, supervision of trade and commerce. That means these officials who were divided into different committees. They were assigned different jobs, particular jobs, particular departments, to supervise these departments so that they can function properly. Now, as you know, we have to run our life. We need for that very purpose money. Money is necessary to run our lives, and the whole department which deals with this is called as economy, or economic of side of a country, economic side of a house, family, economic side of an individual. That means if I have a psychological side, if I have a political side, as well as humanistic side, as well as I have also a economic side. As you know, when I grew up, after some period of time, a thinking came into my mind that I have to earn something. Whatever I earn, whatever I purchase, whatever I spend, what are my expenses, that everything comes into the field of economic life. Same is the case with these people have also an economic life. And what was the economy? What was the economic life of the people at that time? How, from which they were earning? Whether they have also a transportation or different trade and industries as we people have, or the jobs as we people have, highly jobs, or there was something else. But when we are talking about this period, people were mostly engaged in agriculture, right? Trade and commerce was also high at that time. Not only this, you can understand it very well that how much their economy was better at that time. Trade with South India was mainly in diamonds, pearls, and gold, and with Northwest it was in horse and woolen clothes. And we can say also we have a paper currency at this moment, but in that very period, those people have coins. However, they may be of silver, they may be of copper, or of any other metal. So these people also use it to exchange in the form of coins, plus in the form of goods. But what were those? They were the gold, diamond, pearls. This shows us that their economy was very strong because they were trading in terms of diamond, gold, and pearls. This was their means of economy, agriculture, trade, and commerce, on which they have a hold on their life. As you know, in India, from the very beginning, we don't have an homogeneous society. Homogeneous society, a society which have a same religion, same caste, same occupations or culture, we will call it a homogeneous society. But here in India, it is a heterogeneous society where the people of different religions, different castes, different occupations try to live together. As far as Mauryan society is concerned, there were several divisions. As I told you that it was not a homogeneous. So what were the different divisions? For example, there were farmers, shepherds, merchants, soldiers, and government officials. That means this society was also divided into the different divisions, into different classes, into different people on the basis of their occupation. Here they have only mentioned here occupation. That means that very society was based upon the division was based on the basis of occupation, what the people were doing, what was their profession. On the basis of that, society was divided. But when we are talking about the Vedic age, there the society was divided on the basis of caste. Here we have also Brahmanas, Buddhists, and Jain monks. As we are looking in our society, which is very much homogeneous in Kashmir, We have also a class of society that we call as Maulvis, who are very highly respected in our society because the profession with which they are dealing, that is respected, and they are also respected. But in this period, we don't have Muslims, we don't have Islam. So the people who were dealing with the religion, like as Brahman priests, Buddhists and Jain monks, what their duty made them to respect, and these people were highly respected. Not only this, if the society was divided, it had different religions, they used to live together and peacefully, as it is also written on our book that people of all castes lived peacefully together. That means such a communal type of thinking was not at that time. No doubt there were some religions, more than one. There were few religions like as Brahmanas, like as Buddhism, like as Jainism. But after all, even though the society was highly divided on the basis of occupation, but still they used to live together and peacefully. Now, every society left its footprints after its time. When we are talking about the Mughals, then we are seeing the Mughal gardens in Kashmir, the Taj Mahal in India, the different names of different cities, which gives us an idea about their art and architecture. Now, when we are talking about the art and architecture of this Mauryan Empire, then the great jobs or great works are done by the King Ashoka. He has constructed many places, monasteries. He also built a large number of stupas. The most famous is Sanchi Stapa. Ashoka pillars were made of, and he has also built pillars. And these pillars were built made of sandstones. And one among them is most impressive, that is Ashoka pillar at Sarnath. If we will also open our book, we have here on page number 68 Ashoka emblem. We have 4 lines on it, and each line is on the back of another line. We can see the head of 3 lines, but actually they are 4. How much they are famous that it is written in our national emblem, right? Not only this, he also built viharas. Now, dear students, if you may get a simple question, what are these viharas, right? These are the places where monks could study and live. I have simply here written study centers for monks. In other words, these monks, that means they were from, when I am talking about the monks, they are the priests of Buddhism, right? They were both studying as well as living in the same monks, in the same places. They were living in studying and living in the one place, that are called as viharas, and these were built by the Ashoka for Buddhist monks. As you know, in the morning the sun starts shining, in the evening it comes to the sunset, right? From sunrise to sunset. What does it mean and signify? That every rise have a fall. अगर मैं आपको उर्दू में कहूँगा तो जो कुछ भी आता है दुनिया में किस लिए आ जाता है? फना होने के लिए आ जाता है, ख़त्म हो जाने के लिए आ जाता है, रहने के लिए कोई चीज़ यहाँ पर नहीं है. Same is the case with the Mauryan Empire. This empire also got declined, and now when it got declined, what are the reasons? What are the different factors which led it to its decline? What are the different reasons and factors which led to its decline? When we are talking about its decline, the different reasons, then we have to keep in mind the different successors of Ashoka were very weak. They were so much weak that they could not control this vast empire. The empire which was built by Ashoka, that was very vast now, because the man have not taken the policy of friendship, peace, that made him to enlarge his empire, right? But his successors जो उसके बाद आ गए, ठीक है, they were very weak and they were not able to control. Not only this, the governors of distant provinces took advantage of the above situation and they declared themselves as independent. Number third, there was lack of transportation as well as communication, made empire very weak, because if you have a vast empire, you need a great facility of transportation as well as of communication, so that you can communicate with your people, with your officers, with your administration very well, so that those people will remain in touch with you, with the king, and he can remain also in touch with his subjects, and he will get all kind of information where from I have problems, where my empire is in a good position. For this very purposes, we need transportation as well as communication. For this very reason, I will cite a simple example in front of you. As you know, and you may have seen in the news channels, you may have watched nowadays from the last 2 months, from May, June, what is going on? We have a dispute, we have a clash, face off at the Ladakh border, Leh Ladakh border, and that is how it is seen, how it has been come to the forefront. It is through the satellite. This is the way, this is a means of communication which have seen, we showed to the government of India that Chinese government has built some kind of defense system there, right? And with the passage of time, the last king, Brihadarat, he was killed, and with this, Mauryan Empire came to an end. Not only this, officers also became corrupt. They also take the advantage, power corruptus and absolute power corruptus. Absolutely, they became so much corrupt that they took the advantage of this, and with this the empire became very weak, and with the passage of time it fallen from the rise. Now we don't have such kind of empire in the world, only the history tells us about it. Thank you for this, but also go through the book and read it, and also go through once for the questions. I will also assign you assignments for this chapter, inshallah Rahman, tomorrow. That will be better for you, so that you can revise your chapter as well as my lectures. Thank you for today.